Most people feel that the youth in foster care are troubled, hardened, aggressive, and in some aspects dangerous. When told that someone's in the foster care, people automatically look at them in a different eye. But I bet you couldn't tell by looking at me that I was in the system. As a former youth in the system, I can tell you that that is not true. And there's a certain affection a child who has no parents or has been removed from their parents should receive. However, abuse often replaces that love. Foster youth are often looked down upon and put into a group of kids who aren't going to do anything with their lives. But however, that's not their fault, it's the system's fault. My major claim is that the foster care system is full of abuse and neglect. A lot of times these kids are only accepted into homes because of the money that is offered with them. These foster kids undergo not only sexual abuse, but severe and emotional abuse and neglect on a daily basis. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. At the age of 16, I was thrown into the system after I lost my mom to cancer. The government didn't know who I was. I was just a name on a paper and thrown into the system with 1,000 other names. Although I was only in the system for 2 years, I experienced the harsh realities of the system. I wasn't taking care of myself, and I have the scars to prove the harm that I put myself through. So with that said, I'll go to my first claim. The foster youth suffer emotional and sexual abuse. As many as 75% children upon leaving the system will have experienced sexual abuse. Sexual abuse of children in government custody will appear to be a widespread problem. In 2009, according to child welfare workers, 11% of such cases of mistreatment involve sexual abuse. A study done by Johns Hopkins University found that the rate of sexual abuse within foster care combined with group homes is 32 times higher than the general population. Because this abuse is going on, there's a lack of support to the children. Which brings me to my second point. Former foster youth are unprepared for life on their own. Statistics done by the Annie E. Casey Foundation of Kids Count Data Center in 2009 showed that 51% of former foster youth are unemployed, 31% receive public assistance, and 50% of former foster youth will be homeless during their first 2 years of exiting the foster care system. An example I want to give you guys is Antoine Fisher, who is now an American screenwriter and director, but unfortunately for 12 years of his adolescent life, he was abused at the hands of his foster family. He not only suffered from severe verbal abuse, but physical abuse. At the age of 14, he stood up to his foster care mother and found himself homeless and living on the streets. With that, I'm going to state my third claim. Because of the abuse, children in the foster care system lack education. These children are often neglected, so foster families often don't care what these children are doing as long as they receive their paycheck. 54% earn high school diplomas and 2% earn a bachelor's degree. I'm going to give another example of the football star Michael Orr. You guys might have seen the movie about him, The Blind Side. Well, he was in and out of foster homes for the majority of his adolescent life, and he performed poorly as a student. He had to repeat the first and the second grade over, and he attended 11 different schools during his 9 first years as a student. So, in conclusion, I hope by speaking to you tonight, I have enlightened you about the children in the system, and I raised some awareness about the harsh realities these children in the foster care culture go through. Thank you.
All right, your proposition has multiple claims to it. It's abuse and neglect, and I'm not exactly sure what the controversy is. I think that there's probably widespread agreement that there are problems with the foster care system. You get enhanced credibility as a representative of that system. I think that that carries a lot of weight with the audience. You've got some good statistical information about the dangers that are going on there and some of the problems that kids face. And I think that if we were doing a policy argument, what's called for here is a discussion about what alternative would work more effectively, or if we stick with the issue of fact, why it is that this problem exists. Is it because of the way the foster care system works? Is it because of the way they recruit foster families? Is it because of a lack of support for the system? I think that's probably where the argument would be a little bit stronger. There's an okay setup of what the content's going to be, but they're not really stated as claims. But once you get to the body of the speech, you do a pretty good job on that. Like I said, I thought you had pretty good statistics there. Directing to the audience was fine. There's still a little bit of time, so it could, like I said, the controversy element needs to be developed more. All right, thank you.